like 200 viewers, but you can't talk in front of your girlfriend?
Not even like 50 probably. Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. And today, actually yesterday I put the engine in the car and I totally forgot that the oil pan on this engines are on the front and the Miata oil pans are in the back. That's why the huge hole on the subframe, you know. So I ran into a problem where, of course, the oil pan is literally sitting on top of the steering rack and the subframe right here. I'm pretty sure I can get away with just leaving the steering rack where it is, but the subframe has to be cut. And well, I'm gonna show you what I'm about to do right now, which is I'm going to cut the subframe from here, from around here to here, and the same thing on that side. So this whole opening will be fine for the so the oil pan clears. And then I'm going to put plates on each side, and well, not me, my buddy. And we're gonna weld the like maybe, you know, like this support is gonna be like underneath the subframe, underneath the steering rack, but you know, forward. So we're still gonna have the space for the oil pan. And my guess, well, if this all works out, my guess is every time that if I ever have to take the engine out or, you know, mess with it, take it out and put it in whatever, I have to remove the steering rack no matter what. But it's super easy to take the steering rack out. As you can see, it took me like 2 minutes. So this is either I fuck it up or I do a good job cutting it. So I have to kind of go like from here. I don't want to cut the bracket out because I want the bracket to stay here for the steering rack. So I'll probably go like maybe half an inch over the bracket, or like around an inch. Maybe I should cut it like this is a sim right here that they welded the subframe. This middle part is welded by a sim right here. So I'll probably just cut through this whole thing. Yeah, maybe that worked perfectly through here. And that should be able to clear the oil pan. But when I put the engine in, the engine was literally sitting on top of the subframe, and the motor mounts were like probably like around 10 inches forward. And the back of the engine was already hitting the firewall. So I also have to cut the firewall. But first I want to cut that, see how the engine sits, and then I can cut the firewall, because I don't want to cut the firewall and like, you know, go crazy with that and mess, you know, make it look all hacked and shit. So yeah, I really don't want to cut the firewall, but I'm guarantee I'm gonna have to. So yeah, I guess let's start cutting. Well, 30 seconds later, I have one side cut. Let me just do the other one. That's actually perfect. That's exactly where I wanted it to be cut, right at the sim, or like the weld actually that they did from factory, which is right there. And let me just do this side now. Hopefully it comes as good as this side. All right, guys, so as you can see, the fucking subframe is cut. Oh man, I hope, you know, there's no going back now. There's no like, oh, I'm gonna sell this engine and buy a fucking another 1.6 and build it. Nope. I mean, I know I can go buy a fucking subframe, but this is like, I'm into this shit now. So my beautiful girlfriend right here, stupid. I fucking said girlfriend wrong the first time, so that's why she's laughing. But anyways, she's waiting for me to go to Walmart. So she's patiently waiting for me to finish this shit. But guess what? She's gonna help me put this engine in now. So yeah, I just want to test fit it real quick before I leave. I'm done already working on it. I have work. So I have work tomorrow. It's already like 9 o'clock, and I have to go to Walmart because of her. So let me just try and put this engine in, and yeah, hopefully it fits. I know I'm gonna have some issue with the coolant housing, which is gonna suck. I really do not want to cut this firewall. All right, guys. So here I'm fucking struggling with the motor. Problem number one, turbo. The intake manifold I'm using is way too, it faces out too much. And as you can see, the turbo is just hitting right here on the frame rail, and it's not letting it go down on either side. So I'm gonna have to take the turbo out and put I might be able to put the turbo in once the motor is in, but like to put the engine in the car, I have to remove the turbo, which I'm just gonna do it right now real quick. It's only 4 bolts. But then the other side, once I fix that issue, this shouldn't be an issue, but the little valve behind the intake manifold right here, it's hitting, well actually, it's not even hitting yet. It's not hitting the back part of this. So as you can see, those 2 holes right here is where the OEM motor mounts go for Miata. And my motor mounts are over here. Let's see if I can show a light. So you see on the left right here, the OEM mounts, and then my mounts are literally right here. So that's around a 6-inch gap. And as you can see, we only have like around maybe 3 to 4 inches gap before it hits the housing. The housing is not a problem. I can I can cut it and re-weld it, have my buddy do it. So I'm just gonna take the top house, this is the top radiator hose neck. So I'm gonna take that off, and then I'm going to take the turbo off and try and you know, push the engine back as further as I can. And the same thing with the transmission, the shifter point, it's like a foot away. So once this goes back, the shifter should align close enough, and then hopefully this works. Not a huge issue. I mean, it sucks, but yeah, I have to take the whole turbo out after I put all the lines and everything. So I gotta take the turbo out, take the housing out, and then trying to wiggle the engine like down a little bit more. But I mean, look, it's looking good though. As you can see, it looks pretty good. It's pretty centered right now, so that's good. It's just what's worrying me right now. It's the intake manifold gonna hit the frame rail. The turbo is not a big deal. I can get a different manifold, or I can get one made, or I can cut and weld that one. It'd be nice if I could have like a top mount. I should just go look for a top mount manifold right now instead of dealing with this. But like again, this is all for like, I just want to fit the engine, and once I fit the engine, I can worry about making the manifold fit. Or well, I have to see how much room I have to work with, you know. But first, I just want to make sure this goes down, because right now there's like zero space for it to like fit. But this is the heater core line right here, and as you can see, once it goes down, it's gonna be hitting, like it's gonna be tucking underneath these. So no matter what, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to cut it. All right, guys, so it's a different day now. As you can see, the motor's back in the car. I took the trans out just so I can like mess with it a little bit better. I took the turbo out, which is sitting right there, and the engine's sitting pretty good now. It's not as far as it was before. So like right now, I can probably build a bracket just to make the motor mounts fit. I don't know what the fuck is the light at. So as you can see, the motor mount, of course, on the right, and that hole next underneath the oil drain, that's where the like OEM motor mounts are. I mean, I can still, the engine got tilted forward, that's why it's a little bit further. But this is pretty much where it's gonna be sitting. But I am probably have my buddy build some brackets and like some motor mounts for it, I guess. Just like to like fill up this gap and make the motor mount sit flush here, because like it fits pretty fucking perfect right here. The only thing is the oil pan, which I'm gonna have it like, we still have space to raise the engine up a little bit more. As you can see, like we have like around maybe 2 or 3 inches to lift it up, and the oil pan, it's like super fucking low. So that's a subframe, and it's literally like 2 inches lower than the subframe. So yeah, we have to fucking lift up the block lift up the engine like around 2 inches. So I'm gonna have my buddy come in here, and he can probably help me out, measure some shit, so he can build me a bracket or build me like little, I don't know, something so I can lift the engine higher. Because well, I have to even this out first, and then so the motor mounts can sit flush there. So I'll probably have him come here with some metal, and I can start cutting and tacking it. I mean, I can tack shit, I just cannot weld it because I'm not that good of a welder, and I do not have gas on my welder neither. I have a welder on there, but it has no gas. But yeah, the motor's looking pretty good in here. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna be able to run the stock turbo and this manifold unless I cut it and flip it, or make a bracket fit it somewhere else. But I don't think it's gonna work. And then I'll have to figure out something about the oil filter. I mean, the oil filter is fine right there where it is right now. There's still space to take it out. I just have to figure out that line that's right here. Oh shit, whoop, something broke. Because that fucking line, that's like, I don't know where it goes, but it's just an oil line. So I'll probably weld those things shut so it does not leak oil. And I don't have that, because that's like having this rubber line right here is another cause for it to leak, you know. So not looking bad though. I do have to see how far I'm about to measure the transmission to see how far the shifter is gonna end, because I'm pretty sure the shifter is gonna be really forward. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be close enough to the stock shifter location. So we're gonna have to make a bracket to make that work, like extend the shifter back, you know. All right, guys. So I'm here with my boy Jan, and I should have stayed with the 1.6 and just build that, because now I have to cut the whole fucking frame. I gotta cut these little ears off the frame, and I have to cut the whole firewall down. So from up here all the way down, I have to cut at least like 2-3 inches just to make the engine clear, because the motor mounts are still all the way up here. They're around 3 inches further up, and the oil pan sits right on top of the steering rack still, and the oil pan is still too low, so I'm gonna have to buy spacers for the subframe, drop the subframe like around maybe on 1/4 of an inch, and make blocks for the motor mounts to raise the engine up. And the engine has to go in at least like 2 inches deep, because the transmission is 6 inches away from the tranny hole for the shifter. Yeah, it's literally like 6 inches forward. It's like, I don't know, like by the radio. So I have to push the engine at least like, I don't know, 4 inches back just to make up for it, and so it clears up here. So yeah, I guess I'm starting to cut all the firewall and the frame out. So we got this side done already. As you can see, I'm surprised with myself that I did a pretty straight cut. And yeah, that should be perfect. I mean, I didn't even need to cut that much, but I just want to make it even. If not, it's gonna look like shit. So now we're cutting this side. I already got almost all of it cut. I just gotta cut the bottom part. And then the hard part is gonna be cutting the center section, just because I don't know how deep I'm gonna go. So I have this side done. Now is the firewall. I have no idea. I'm just gonna go literally a straight line down and see what I see down there, because I have no fucking idea. Yeah, so I'll probably just go from this, like we're measuring it. It's like the VIN number. So from the beginning of the VIN number all the way to this side right here. Well, it's basically from each corner up. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't get too fucked. As you can see, the engine's back in the car, and excuse the harness. I had bought this harness yesterday, and I was just making sure it fit and see how I'm gonna route it, because you know, DSMs, the engine is sideways, and of course here it's rear wheel drive. But yeah, we got the engine in, and the only issues that we're running right now into is the thermostat housing. So as you can see, the thermostat housing is all the way in here, and let me move this harness out of the way. As you can see, that's my heater core, and the thermostat housing is right here. And I still have to fit the bottom part of the thermostat housing, which I'll show you in my brother's car. So I still have to fit this part on the car. I cannot find one. No one has one. I'm looking like all the forums and everywhere, and no one sells a freaking thermostat housing. So what I'm gonna have to do is cut this one like down here and twist it about 1/2 inch to the inside the motor, right now to the right, just so it fits, because if not, it's gonna be like it's gonna be inside the firewall, so it won't really work. So I have to bend that, like cut it, twist it, and have my body welded with a TIG welder, of course. And then the bottom one might be able to fit, but if not, I'm thinking about putting a pipe, like, let me show you over here. So as you can see, we're already inside the fucking car almost. I have the heater core right there. Then you can see some harness right here. But yeah, there's about 2 inches of space, which is more than enough to fit that coolant hose. So what I'm gonna do is put a pipe from here, like having my buddy weld the pipe from the radiator hose part, weld the pipe around it. I was trying to find a thermostat relocation kit, but no one has one. And there's a guy who makes one that goes on the block, like you bolt it straight to the block. But he only has one plug for a radiator hose, because it's meant to use with the electric water pump, so it doesn't really work. And I don't know, it seems like it's not really gonna work, and I don't want to wait longer to do it. So I'm just gonna do it the way I want to do it, the way I think is gonna work the best. But yeah, I mean, everything's looking pretty good. I'm gonna take the engine out. Well, I'm gonna have my buddy come tomorrow, look where the motor mounts are, and so we can start marking and make the motor mounts brackets, so we can make the motor mounts fit the subframe. And another thing that we have to do, of course, is going to be move the rack forward around 1.5 inches, which isn't going to be a big deal. Getting longer tie rods to fix it. And I might lose some turning radius, but it's fine. Like, I'm not drifting this car or nothing, so it should be more than enough turning radius. But I mean, the edge is not completely centered right now, just because like I had two people holding it to see where everything's gonna fit. But as you can see, the oil pan is touches the subframe right now, which is, it's gonna be centered, because on this side we have like a 2-inch gap or like 3-inch gap, so we have to center this between the subframe and move the rack forward and do all that. But yeah, so I need my buddy to come and make me some motor mount brackets, and then we have to cover the frame, because we cut the frame, of course, and we have to cover the firewall. The transmission, it is going to be way closer now, so we only have to extend the shifter around 1 inch back, or 1.5 inches, which is going to be way better than 6 inches. So yeah, that's pretty good. But yeah, anyways, guys, if you want to watch more of this car, make sure to click that subscribe button. And I am gonna make more videos. That's it for this video, is because I don't want to make it super long, and I don't know how long it's gonna be already, because I've been recording for 2 days. All right, guys, if you want to watch more, make sure to click that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.